When revising doesn't make you feel smarter, but instead makes you realize just how much you don't know, what do? Hi, I'm Annie, and I just finished my first year of medical school, and let's just say this exam season definitely tested my resilience. Though looking back now, I feel like I accidentally documented what the exam season is actually like, because it's not aesthetic study sessions with perfectly colour-coded notes. It's boring, it's repetitive, and incredibly mundane. Because I'm not being funny, every single day starts to feel like a repeat of the day before. And disclaimer, of course, if you started revising from day one, stayed completely on top of all of your lectures and kept up with every single Anki review, then maybe it would all be sunshine and rainbows. But the reality is, people fall behind until suddenly you're trying to catch up whilst keeping up at the same time. I also think people might underestimate how easy it is to fall behind, especially if you're using one of the very popular platforms amongst med students like Anki, where if you miss a day or two and the reviews keep piling up, before you know it, you're drowning in them. And it becomes so demotivating because you start to think, well, there's no way I can learn all of this, so what's the point? Or what's the point in spending hours revising today if I'm just going to forget it tomorrow? I'm going to try and do a little narration of the timeline in which I have filmed. I started filming on the 13th of April, but that's not when I started revising. According to my Anki, I started revising consistent-ish, as in not every single day, but there was no week where I didn't revise at all. 23rd of March. But I'd say I start getting a good chunk of revision done around the 13th of April. And you can literally see the sun is no longer in the sky. I've got my jacket on because it's now chilly. And I said this in the intro, like these clips, it gets to a point where you're genuinely just seeing the exact same thing over and over again. I'm here with my laptop, got my iPad in front. It's sort of like blurting. On Anki, the app version on your iPad/phone, you can have the whiteboard feature. When you press the undo button, it clears the entire board. And then also, when you answer the flashcard and you move on to the second flashcard, it wipes the entire board. But I just like the idea that you can press the button and everything is cleared. It's not like a undo the last line that you drew. However, I prefer Anki on my laptop versus my iPad because when I use my Anki remote, it has more features. Like it's just better. So I just prefer it on my laptop. So then I use my iPad as the whiteboard, but then I don't want to have the Anki open on a random flashcard just to use the whiteboard. I want another app that takes up the entire screen. So I was on a hunt for that. Turns out the app that I needed is literally just called Whiteboard. The only disadvantage of this is obviously when I move to the next flashcard, it doesn't automatically wipe my iPad. So I have to do that by myself, but it's okay. I have tried other whiteboards. I've tried a real whiteboard. I've tried typing. It's different things that I did try also in A-levels and GCSEs, but they don't hit the same. I don't know if I went to the library this day. Might not have. There were a few days where I would stay in the library until close and then carry on a little bit at my accom. Usually the kitchen, because if I tried anything in my bedroom, I'd just go to bed. Because before it became like May, the library wasn't open 24 hours. I don't know if I filmed this, but the closer I got to my exams, the lazier my meals got. I used to, in the beginning, semester 1, I'd make 4 different meal prep meals a week, and I had 2 meals a day. And then close to my exam, I just kept eating tuna sandwiches that I bought at the Heron Foods. I kept having mac and cheese, tuna pasta, which I never made tuna pasta before, but I watched my flatmate do it and I was like, wow, this is the easiest thing ever. You just put the tuna with the cooked pasta and you put mayo and maybe some sweet corn if you're feeling fancy. Like, that's the easiest meal ever. So I literally lived on tuna. Anyways, stopped going to the gym. I think the last time I went to the gym was the end of April. I went the most during Easter and then I went like once or twice after I came back from Easter before May. May rolls around, I don't renew my membership, so I don't go to the gym until after exams. Exams end on the 19th of May and then I go to the gym like 2 times for the rest of May after that. This is not a rant about the gym, but like this happens every exam season where I sacrifice the gym. It's hard to maintain my weight unless I'm being very intentional about it. So I literally lost all my weight that I had gained over the year, despite being like the same weight that I was when I lost my weight last year again because of exams. It looks very different on me, I think. Like, I don't look as skinny as I was last year, even though I'm like the same weight. I don't know, my body holds the weight different. This was the first time that I made a burrito. I don't really know, not done this before. Saw a TikTok recipe. Just gonna wing it a little bit. I also want to like meal prep this, but I don't actually know how much of everything I need. This is the first time I've bought tomatoes since coming to uni. Okay, chef. This looks way better than the first tomato I did. Is there a faster way of peeling this top layer? Oh, I can feel myself crying. This is the ones I always make. Mind the mess. I'm very messy when I cook, but I clean it up always, so it's fine. This is the rice and beans. I don't really know if this is correct, but the video just kind of started seasoning it. And like, you know what I mean? I use like half of this. I've never used that in cooking before. I had to go to my corner shop to get avocados because the one that I bought was like really brown on the inside. But then it didn't have any, so then I had to walk up further. I found a Tesco Express. We had one avocado left. Came back, assembled burrito, but the contents is so much inside that I had to double the wrap. It's really good. I put mayo on this. This is a really good combination. I can feel my throat's a little itchy, just a tad. I think it's the tomato and the avocado. That is so good. I made them like really odd sizes. They weren't even. Like I'd have one really big burrito. Why is this the biggest burrito ever? 16th of April, I think I had clinical skills or something like that, hence why I'm in my scrubs. And then I decided to go to the study section to do some work until my lecture in the afternoon. Time jump, 24th of April, it's 9:33 p.m. Another late night shift. Side note, not necessarily relevant. Literally the only thing I wore the entire time that I'm in the library studying was the same linen pants. And I think I got them from H&M. I love them. I think they look cute and they're very comfortable. Actually, sometimes I wore my joggers, but that wasn't usually the go-to. So it literally looks like I don't have clothes because I keep wearing the exact same thing over and over again. But hey, listen, I just wanted to be comfortable. I hadn't worn jeans in forever. Me and the girls have a little picnic in Abercrombie Square, which is a square of grass right outside the library. Hey! Oh, this is so kawaii. Did you just say this is so kawaii? That looks so good. Now I'm gonna recreate it, actually. What are we getting?
It's all good, bro.
Why?
Buzz.
And then right after the picnic, guess where I went? Right back into the library. But honestly, I think it was around this time in April when it started being really hot. During this time, my go-to plan for how I would time it, this and like the beginning of May was just peak study time for everybody. Everybody was in the library. I'm not even joking. Like you'd have to do laps around the library on multiple floors to find a seat. That's how busy it was. I saw people sitting on the floor by the wall because they had nowhere to sit, and personally, it could never be me, but... So what I did was before 5 p.m. I'd sit in Abercrombie Square either with a friend or just on my own, and I just study there. Was it the most productive? Not really. I mean, I tried my best. I'd go in around 5 p.m. ish. It's quieter now. Most people, until it got really close to like the humanities exam period, would stay till 5 p.m. and then leave. So everybody just started leaving, and that's when I'd go in, get a seat, and stay there until silly o'clock, as my friend refers to it as. There were times where I'd stay till like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Then it got better because I'd stay till like 10, maybe 11. But my comm was really light. I mean, I can say it now because I don't live there anymore. I lived at Philharmonic, so it was literally like 5 minutes down the road. I'd always call my friend on the way home, even though it's like pretty lit up. I didn't feel unsafe. 25th of April at 11:27 p.m. This was my favorite meal. That wasn't a meal that I had to make myself. Oh no, I think it says I'm eating some sort of chicken bacon sandwich, which is not my favorite one. My favorite one is the chicken and mayonnaise. That's the best one. I don't know why I'm trying to switch it up here, but I don't really like this. And like, look in the background, nobody is here. At the end of April and the beginning of May, I'd always be the last person in the library, or at least in the section that I was in. I say always. Maybe there's like one other person there, and that's only because they only recently joined. Not that it's a competition, but that's just what I was on. Here, I can't remember what I'm giggling at. Something must have been funny. I wish I could give future me a reminder, because what am I laughing at? Oh, no, I'm singing. Though I didn't realise until a week or two before my exams, and I was still obviously studying in the library, the social section of the library, because this is the silent section, is very social at like 2 in the morning. Like, I don't know what everybody's doing there, getting giggly. Though I don't know if that was at the point in time where there were people who had finished their exams at that point. But either way, why are you getting hee hee ha ha in the library? After I finished my exams, the library never saw me again. Like, there'd be giant groups of people in the private rooms, and you look in the window and they're just there playing a game, like a card game. And not that I'm against it, but also like, why are we in the library doing that? And I thought after my exams, I'd be like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's just go to the library for fun. No, I never thought that. Anyways, you'll see the switch up, but for a while I am in the silent study section until I decide to make the change, because I actually don't like studying in the silent section, and I thought I really liked it, but that's just because I hadn't studied in the other section. I'm in Abercrombie Square, studying on my own, and I'm just doing multiple choice flashcards, hence why I don't have my iPad out. Then I decide, let me lie on my back with my laptop on my belly, which is actually quite therapeutic. I don't know. The next clip is 11:55 p.m. on the same day in the library, but I'm wearing a different top. That's because I got a little bit chilly. I went home, got changed, and then went back out looking disheveled as ever. The 27th of April, I clearly tried to look reasonable by dressing up a little bit. I'm wearing a skirt. Crazy. I haven't worn one of them in a while. I don't know if you've seen my TikToks. I dress up quite a bit for my lectures, and it's not like I'm purposely like trying to do a lot, but that's just how I normally dress. It was a very bad day for me. We had lectures in the day. I get dressed up. I put on this like really cute corset that I like, and I've worn a couple of times, and it's a comfortable corset, but it is like tight enough that it's a corset, right? My feelings of anxiousness and worry were very heightened this day already off the bat. Then I'm in a really tight corset, which usually like is fine and there's nothing wrong with that, but then I get into the library in the afternoon and I sit down and I start doing work. Like, I've been here for a while and I'm feeling tired. I'm like, you know what, I never drink energy drinks ever, and I definitely don't drink it to get through exam season like a few of my friends do, and I just kind of want to know what the hype's about. So I'm like, you know what, there's energy drink vending machine downstairs, let me go get one. I think it's time, because I had saved energy drinks from Freshers Fair and I didn't even end up drinking them, but I had saved them for when times get really tough and I'm like, oh, I need a boost of energy, you know what I mean? Can I get my drink? It's a Monster, the white Monster cans, and I've had them before. I only drink a quarter of this can, like not even half of the can, and I just get a rush of like chills on my body and just a wave of like, I'm starting to feel nauseous, like I'm starting to feel sick. And we're in the silent study section, so I can't talk to my friends, but they're somewhat nearby but not next to me because it was so full, we didn't get seats next to each other. And I'm messaging them in the group chat like, I don't feel good, like I'm just stressed, like I don't know if I can do this. Sammy's like, let's go on a mental health walk, just take a break. So we end up walking to KFC, I think. We go back and we start doing work again, and it did not help. Now, if I wasn't feeling it before, like now I actually feel like I'm gonna be sick. I don't feel good, jittery and shaky. I'm like, guys, I'm gonna cry. Send like a snap and it's just like my face and like my eyes are like watering. My friends finally open the message and then Simmy comes up to me. When she starts speaking to me, I just my face is just flooding with tears now and they won't stop. And she's like, do you want to go home? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go home. If I go home, no work's gonna get done, firstly. Do I have that time to sacrifice right now? Like, I don't feel like I do, but I literally cannot stop crying. And she's like, let's go outside. So we go outside of the science section. The big sign that tells you this is the science section is propped up by a chair in front of the door, and I sit on the chair, so I'm like covered by the big sign, and Simmy's just stood in front of me and she's just giving me a pep talk, and it's a very sweet pep talk. Now I'm profusely crying, like there's a little like struggles to breathe in there a little bit. Full on meltdown. The reason why this is notable in terms of my exams, I've never cried in public over my exams or like preparing for my exams. Like, this has never happened to me before. I did eventually calm down, you'll be glad to know, and then I came to the conclusion that yeah, let's go home. I realized now that I've cried my eyes out, I definitely can't do work anyways because now I have a headache. Though when I went home, got ready for bed, and then just sat on my rug in front of my mirror and just started crying again. Should you do medicine? What do you think? I'm just kidding. It was really like mentally such a bad day, but I just think it was a combination of everything just becoming way too overwhelming for me. I felt better the next day though, I will say, but wow, when I think back, I just, poor me. Awkward. People, or like people who've done his first year, my course mate, or people who finished med school, all that jazz, look at me and say I'm dramatic. I don't care, but that was really like how it was for me, and it was like entirely the whole mental aspect of it. It was up here. I mean, the content was hard, that's why I was bugging out, but like it was the fact that I was so incredibly convinced that there's no point, like I'm gonna fail, and I'm so scared of failure that now all I can do is cry. All I can do is cry because what a heel. Time jump to the 9th of May. Somewhere between the last clip and this clip, I have made the shift to the social study area. 3 reasons. Walking home with my flatmate, we first went to the social study section to see his friend, and she was sat there, and I was like, oh, it's
quite nice. Mind you, I had sat there before, not on the specific row that she was sat where it like looks out the window, but like the middle tables. I had sat there before in the very beginning, and then I decided I don't want to sit there anymore. The middle tables don't have any plug sockets. The one that she was on, they have plug sockets. Some of the middle tables do have them, but not all of them do. Second thing, I like the chairs. I realize I really prefer and almost need to study on a chair that does not move. I don't like the rolly chairs. Granted, the rolly chairs in the silent study section are better than your average rolly chair, or at least most of them, because I sit cross-legged, right? And my knee is pressing against the table and I don't want to roll away from the desk. The silent study ones are actually pretty good because you don't really roll away, but it doesn't have the same security and sturdiness. And then the third thing is, I noticed that it's actually quieter than the silent one. Because hear me out, when you get your AirPods in and you got your noise cancellation on and all that jazz, since everybody's so silent and then there's a few people that don't know how to shut up, they're so loud, you can hear them. But when everyone is collectively a mild level of loud, with my noise cancelling earphones on and everything, they all just cancel out. Actually, funnily enough, the closer we got to exams, because people were just finding places to sit, people would sit in the silent study and the quiet study section, which both became silent eventually, just to sit there. But they were not silent, they were not quiet in the slightest. So actually, when you compare the volume levels of the silent section and the social section, there was a point in time where the silent section was drastically louder. Just can't win, can you? So that's why I made the switch, and I did not make the switch back. Only unless I could not find a seat at all, and then eventually make the switch back. Here I'm with Jan, and we ordered some food, and I was hungry. It was really yummy, by the way.
I opened it already. Oops, sorry. Yours is bad. Yours is bad. I couldn't read anything. Tell them.
A thrilling time is in your immediate future.
Mine says, a relationship will take on a new dimension.
Did that already happen? Who else?
Who's done this? Who's done this?
What else? Who's next?
No, there's no next.
And then we also got dessert.
We're eating it. £1.50. £2 total. She took 50p worth.
Does it taste like 50p?
It should taste like £10. It costed 11.
My tooth is so sensitive.
So now this is when the very serious, insane lock-in begins. This is like the best way I can describe it. Before today, which is the 11th of May, aka we have 1 week and a day until my exam. My head got given a wobble. Anyways, that was the first time that I had cried. Now, 10th of May is when it happens for the second time. I go to the 7 p.m. mass, because it's a Sunday, with my friend Denzel. It was like a one-person choir, basically. Sings my favourite hymn, which is Here I Am, Lord. And hearing it in mass that day reminded me that that hymn even exists. So then after that, I go back to the library and I listen to it on repeat for the next few days. So now I'm feeling good. You know, I was feeling stressed, but I prayed about it now. And then it gets to, I want to say 9, maybe 10 p.m. and Steph and Simi are getting ready to leave. But before they leave, they want to come see me. And the thing that I noticed was that, I mean, maybe it's saying that they feel unprepared too and whatever, but like now, like I'm speaking to them and they're just so calm. They're so calm and I'm not. When not too long ago, I thought we were all on the same page that like, I'm terrified. I get given a pep talk and it's very helpful and it's very perspective changing. Like I really like looking, which is why I also think having support from your friends, especially people who are on your course and know exactly what it feels like, was something that helped me. And being like, this is what I'm doing. I think you should do this if you're not doing it already. Like genuinely make a schedule of like what you should do. And the thing that I had been doing up until this point was a system block a day. I've got 8 different system blocks and then my good doctor stuff each day, just doing one whole block. So one day I'll do all of endocrine, strictly all of that content. And even then I wouldn't get through all of the decks that I have for that system block in a day because it's like borderline impossible, especially if the majority of the cards you've never even seen before. But there was no like variety in the content that I was learning. Obviously people had said it in A-levels like, oh, don't do all of biology one day and then all of chemistry. You should do like a bit of bio, a bit of chemistry. But I never did that. And it worked perfectly fine for me at A-levels. So I was like, I'm not going to do that now, am I? But that's where I was seriously wrong. I think when you have so much content, it's just too risky to be doing that. The goal really for first year medicine is to learn a little bit about everything. And so she was like, you need to block out today. You're gonna do Anki flashcards for this block, the medwiz for this block, end of block test for this block. I'm hitting multiple different blocks in one day, and that was a game changer. And then she told me that the blocks that you feel less confident about, I need to like basically ignore the heart and anatomy aspect of the system block and focus on like the core physiology flashcards, and vice versa for the ones I feel comfortable with. Just like the idea of like prioritizing things, having a baseline of what to cover, really changed the game for me, and it made that last week really count. With that being said, I'm still trying to do what I did before, where it's like a whole system block, but now I have extra stuff on the bottom. So now, like, if I couldn't complete it before, I'm not gonna be able to complete it today. I'll go into this in better detail when I make a separate video specifically on like how I revised and stuff. To explain this, you'll just have to look at my screen. It looks weird. It was initially even, but then the things that I didn't complete on that day, I just shifted it over and like rescheduled it. It was unrealistic, but like it worked still. Even though I hadn't finished the entire system block, I felt more comfortable in my knowledge because I was still touching base on other system blocks. But another piece of advice that in terms of burnout really made such a big difference, and it's like the most obvious thing ever. In the library for like 12 hours, but like halfway through my 12-hour shift, I'm literally there like this. It's like I have to put my head on the table and have a snooze for a little bit. I can't stay awake. Then I remember Steph telling me that it's because you're not taking proper breaks. In my head, I'm like, I am taking breaks though. Something that also helped me is this like Anki add-on Pomodoro method. But you can change it. So I did it that I do 60 minutes of work. I get a 10-minute break. And then when I do 2-hour sessions and 10-minute breaks, I get a 20-minute break instead. But what I used to do, I wouldn't use the full break. Or like I'd see that it's a break and I'd just keep working. I've reached flow state of doing my cards and stuff like that. Like I don't want to take a break right now. I'll take a break when I'm actually tired. So I'm just defeating the whole purpose of the Pomodoro method, and I'm causing myself to burn out because I'll feel good in the moment and then eventually I can't keep my eyes open, getting a bit of a headache. Probably because you're supposed to take a break about 2 hours ago and you didn't take one, and you haven't had a break since ever. That in these 10 minutes, like I actually took a break. And it wasn't a break where I'm on my phone. No, I started watching Beta Squad videos, and it was so good because I was so hot. Obviously I was only able to watch 10, maybe 20 minutes of it, and then I'd just be like doing my work, but I'm just like can't wait until my study period is over so I can like put my video back on. I didn't count though using the toilet as a part of my break time. I remember when I started doing that, I noticed that I went the entire day and I didn't feel the need to take a nap. So Steph really clocked my teeth when she was like, you can't just like scroll on your phone a little bit and then carry on doing work. I bet you even eat your food whilst you're doing the Anki. And I was like, what? But yeah, I really did like the Pomodoro method because when I used it properly, I felt like the hour that I was working for, it was very productive. Like I genuinely got stuff done. Also on the same day, me and my friends tried to trial run the idea of us spinning the wheel on all of the system blocks and then blurting together. We tried it, and let's just say we didn't do it again. It's not a bit of me. I'm assuming it's definitely not a bit of my friends. I'm just not a big fan of this blurting business. Anyways, I'm really tired. My stomach hurts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please follow my Instagram. Love you guys so much. This is my Vinted if you want to buy any clothes. I don't really post that much on it, but I do have stuff up there. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Bye bye.